welcome back everyone to Archetype review. Fuck. Help, my chair got stuck. Just gonna let some time pass for people to join. Yeah. So, FA Archetype today. An archetype about beatdowns, honestly. Yeah, I mean, not much else to it. Well, actually, there's a lot of other things to it. Level increases, fun effects. There's lots to talk about with FA. 21 cards total. So yeah. It's just about time to get started. Yeah. Okay. I hope everybody who wants to join has joined, because I'm gonna just start reading the cards now. So for the ones who don't know how this works, reading all the cards, reading their effects, giving a quick comment about them, and then at the end I'm gonna make a tier list, then a deck list, and then play against anyone who might be willing to duel. So let's get started. FA Whipcrosser, a wind attribute, level 4, machine effect monster, no attack, 1000 defense, but he gains attack equal to its level times 300. This is very standard for FA monsters. There's 2, I believe, that don't have this effect. Sorry, frog in my throat. Your opponent must pay 300 life points to activate the effect of a monster whose original level or rank is lower than this card's. It's a neat little effect late game. Early game, it's not going. It's doing nothing. Each time an FA spell or trap card or effect is activated, you can increase this card's level by 1. So that's the way to make it stronger, because its base stance would be 1200, 1000, which isn't really worth mentioning. And if this card is level 7 or higher, your opponent cannot discard or send cards from their hand to the graveyard to activate a card effect. The biggest problem with this is the 300 life points on monster effect. It's nice and all, but unless your opponent's already low, it's not gonna matter to them. They're just gonna play through that easily. And the other effect is very good, but you'd want it immediately. You wouldn't want to have to wait to make it level 7. So you can because it can prevent hand traps, which is very nice. But getting Ghost Ogred before it is even active is kind of annoying. Besides that, it's decent. You'd probably be running it anyway, because FA lacks in monsters, very much so. Well, in lower level monsters. Anyway, next card is probably the best monster in the archetype, FA Hang On Mac. A wind attribute, level 4 machine effect monster, no attack, 1800 defense points, and the following effect. Standard 300 attack, and level increase effects for each time a FA spell or trap card or effect. By the way, this is important, it says or effect, which means that if you have a continuous or field spell, you can gain levels on them multiple times. But anyway, it's unaffected by the effects from an opponent's monster whose original level or rank is lower than this card's level. So that is very nice. I've seen people try to effect failure this thing. I've seen people trying to ghost ogre this thing. It doesn't work. And it isn't impossible to attempt, so because they made the attempt, they have to push through and they lose their card. If this card is level 7 or higher, any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead, which is ludicrous. This is like reaching level 7 isn't hard, so you very quickly are gonna get this, and your opponent is going to have to banish everything. So yeah, definitely a great card. Next up is FA Sonic Meister, a wind attribute, level 4 machine, effect monster with no attack, 1000 defense, and it gains attack equal to its level times 300 again. It cannot be destroyed by battle when an opponent's monster whose original level or rank is lower than this card, which is... it's alright. And each time an FA spell or trap card is activated, you can increase this card's level by 1. I should stop reading these. And if this card is level 7 or higher, it can make up to 2 attacks on monsters each battle phase. This is clearly a bit more of a beat sticky one, but it does it well enough. The not be destroyed by battle effect is going to be... I've once used this to dodge block the lightning, Utopia the lightning, but besides that, that's a bit of a rare case. You're gonna rarely use this effect. Your Brown's gonna blow it up without attacking. Its other effect, it helps. It helps getting past more spammy decks. Swarmy, not spammy, swarmy. Against the better swarming decks, it's nice because you can get rid of 2 of their monsters instead of just 1. Next up is FA Turbocharged, a wind attribute, level 6, machine effect monster, no attack, 1500 defense. Standard attack gain in your opponent monsters whose original level or rank is lower than this card's level cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. Your opponent cannot target monsters except this one with the effects of monsters whose original level rank is lower than this card. Each time, and then it's the level gain again, and if your FA monster battles while you control this level 7 or higher card, your opponent's monsters cannot activate their effects until the end of the damage step. Now this card, it's a good beat stick. It comes out at 18, which is most likely why you're running it. The rest of its effects are such misses. If you control 2, it's technically a target and an attack lock in one, but getting out one of these things is already a bit of an effort. There aren't decent enough cards to summon them, but you'd want to use those to summon out better things than a target lock, because there's other cards to prevent targeting, and an attack lock against an archetype that focuses on beatdown is weird. Why bother protecting them from attacks when you can just boost them? And at level 7 or higher effect, it really should have locked out at least spells and traps as well, but for some reason, they could put a million things on there and it would be better. But no, they went with this, which is, when it does work, it works, but you're usually not gonna get much out of it. Next up is FA Dark Dragster. The Dark attribute level 7 machine effect monster is the first one. That is I think the only main deck monster that isn't a wind attribute, if I'm not mistaken. 0 attack, 2000 defense, cannot be normal summoned or set, and must first be special from your hands by having a level 7 or higher FA monster on the field, but no FA Dark Dragster in your monster zone. Technically, it doesn't say that you can only control 1, which is, fun. If you have one in your graveyard that has already been special summoned, you can just revive it and have 2. It's legal. You can just not summon it from hand when you already control Dark Dragster. That's probably because, to be fair, I'd see a bit of a problem there if you could, because then it's just like, okay, I have one level 7 monster, I summon Dark Dragster, I summon Dark Dragster, I summon Dark Dragster, and then you're just spamming the field with this. Anyway, to continue on. Standard attack gain, standard level gain, and once per turn you can target 1 card on the field, reduce this card's level by 3, and if you do, destroy that target. That's a pretty neat effect, and it really helps with the FA archetype's tendency to to just wear down the opponent's fields to better go for that beatdown. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. 3 levels is a bit expensive for this deck, but besides that, it is fine. Anyway, moving on. It is it's FA Auto Navigator, a wind attribute level 1 machine type tuner with no attack and defense, and none of the standard FA effects. This is one of 2 monsters that doesn't gain levels and doesn't gain 300 attack for each level, and doesn't gain levels for each time an FA spell, trap card, or effect is activated. If this card's in your hand or graveyard, you can earn 1 FA monster you control whose current level is higher than its original level. Special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, reduce that target's level by the difference between its current and original level, and if you do, this card's level will become equal to the amount reduced. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 FA field spell directly from your deck to the hand. You can only use each effect of FA Auto Navigator once per turn. The hard ones lock makes perfect sense when you realize that, well, it works in the graveyard, because you could theoretically keep summoning it and keep pulling weird shit otherwise. The fact that it's a terraforming in monster form, for FA specifically, is actually very nice. That's an effect that you're gonna use every time, because you're running at least 6 field spells. Pretty much. Yeah. Overall good card. Its level is variable, and it really just plays into how the archetype works. Next up is FA Dawn Dragster, one of the first synchro monster. It's a light attribute, level 7 machine, a synchro effect monster with no attack, 2000 defense, and it gains attack equal to its level times 300, and if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. Each time an FA spell or trap card or effect is activated, increase its level once per turn. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect, quick effect, you can reduce this card level by 2, and if you do, negate the activation and destroy that card. Powerful as fuck. This thing is generically playable because it doesn't require FA tuners or anything, and it can activate the effect 3 times without any FA involvement. That should say you enough about how good this card is that people would play it even without FA support. Yes, within FA it's definitely a staple. Piercing battle damage is nice, but not necessary. But, it's there, might as well use it. Level 7 is easy enough to make. Moving on. FA Motorhome Transport. A light attribute level 9 machine synchro effect monster with no attack, 3000 defense, requiring 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. Gains attack equal to its level times 300, FA standard level increase. This card gains the following effects based on its current level. At level 11 or higher, it can no longer be destroyed by battle or card effects. At level 13 or higher, it's a once per turn monster reborn for FAs. And there's no further downsides to it. It just revives an FA. The level 11 or higher is reached so quickly that it's pretty much always indestructible. And the level 13 or higher effect, which you don't reach as often, if you do reach it, it's very good. Next up is the biggest disappointment of the monster lineup, which is surprising after Turbocharger. It's FA Shining Star GT, a light attribute Link 2 machine link effect monster with 0 attack and an arrow pointing left down and right down. It requires 2 machine monsters, and it gains attack equal to the total level of FA monsters this card points to times 300. Neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this card. Each time an FA spell or trap card is activated, place 1 athlete counter on this card. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can remove 1 athlete counter from this card, negate the activation. If you do destroy it, you can only use this effect of Shining Star GT once per turn. Now, there are the several problems. Well, while the archetype is already pretty reliant on its back row, this card doesn't work with most of the back row. All the back row has either to do with levels or with battle positions. It is unaffected by either. For its attack, it's completely crushing on other monsters on your field. Shut up, Konami. Yeah, that's not even to begin with the fact that you have a beatdown card that doesn't perform beatdown, no battle damage. I don't know who approved that line in the card decks. Yeah, there's. By the way, it already is hard enough to get attack points. It doesn't have a. It isn't compatible with any of the back row. And well, it can negate monster effects. So for that, I think it needs to have another downside that it doesn't deal battle damage. Who was like, yeah, that's sure, that sounds a great idea. No. This card is held back by its limitations due to it being a link monster. It was brought out in the time where every archetype needed a link monster because there was because this was during Master Rule 4 where you could not have more than one synchro out. So this was meant to get both the synchros out, except that you could do that by just using Dawn Extra to make Motorhome and use Motorhome's effect to later revive Dawn Extra, which is less hoops than using this card. Yes, it can gain a lot of attack. Whoa. But the fact that it crutches on other monsters, I think it's pretty bad. Again, the back row doesn't work with this thing. Yet this thing is built to work with the back row. So yeah, because of yeah. We'll probably come back on this later. Anyway, up to the spell cards. This isn't. There's a little section after the spells and traps, which I felt like needed separate discussion. First up is FA Test Run, a quick play spell card that lets you target one FA monster you control, change its battle position, works on everything but Shining Star, then destroy one card on the field. This is non-targeting. Well, it's targeting your own monster, but it doesn't target your opponents, which is, always nice. Doesn't specify monster. That's a very good effect, but that's just an average card. It's a destruction card that requires you to change your monster's battle position. But during your main phase, except the turn this word was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do a special summon an FA monster from your deck, you can only use each effect of Test Run once per turn. This combo is real nice with the field spells, which I'll come back on later. Probably when discussing the first field spell, but the fact that this gives you access to your entire archetype, it's a quick play spell cards that allows you to destroy shit. That is very good. Because if you're going first, you can set this as a trap. If you're going second, you can just use this as a spell. You can get the ball rolling with this. It's a big combo piece in the deck, and very much appreciated because of that. FA Pit Stop. You can target one FA monster a quick play spell card. You can target one FA monster you control. Reduce its level by 2, and if you do, draw cards equal to the number of FA Pit Stop in your graveyard, +1. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one FA monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Hard once for both effects. Well, the drawing, it can be a little iffy sometimes, but the drawing is nice. And the fact that it's a monster reborn in your graveyard is also very helpful. And again, it's a quick play spell card, so you can set it, wait for your opponent to activate an effect that would destroy your card, and just pick out, now reduce its level by 2 and draw a card. And, it's, you won't always run 3 of this, but you're probably running at least 1. Just for its revival effect. Next up is FA Downforce. A quick play spell card that allows you to target one FA monster, increase level by 2 until the end of this turn. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one FA monster you control, increase its level by 2. Each effect only is a hard once. This is just a nice combo piece. It allows you to make the synchros more easily, it allows you to boost your level suddenly. Yeah, and it's basically a 900 attack boost for any of the FA monsters, because they gain 2 levels, then +1 from their own effect is 3 extra levels. This immediately enables all the level 7 plus effects for all FA monsters, which is nice. Next up are the field spells. FA Off-Road Grand Prix. Increase the level of all FA monsters you control in the field by 2 during the main phase only. You can only use each of the following effects of Off-Road Grand Prix once per turn. When an FA monster you control is destroyed by battle, discard one random card from your opponent's hand, and if this card is the face-up card in the field destroyed by a card effect, add one FA card from your deck to your hand, except Off-Road. Now, this is how it combos with Test Run, because all field spells do this. However, every other field spell is formatted differently. Like with the dots are not featured on any of the other field spells. Yeah. Basically, when it's destroyed, you can do this yourself, or you can have your opponent do this, you can search. All of the field spells do this with the hard ones, but you can... That's an effect activation, so let's say you control an FA monster, you play this, that's one activation, increases the level. Destroy this, that's not... Search effect goes up, that's another activation, its level goes up, you grab another field spell. And that can do this the same thing as this, when it's destroyed at least. And you can do that, repeat that... Do that with all 3 field spells, and on the 3rd field spell you search whatever field spell you actually wanted. But yeah, very good. However, the effect when an FA monster you control is destroyed by battle is a little less. Your opponent is going to get rid of all important cards before attacking, because, you know, you see this kind of thing coming. And yeah, 2 levels during the main phase is nice for things like Hang on Max effect, but besides that, you're not going to get much use out of it. FA Circuit Grand Prix. This is from the original 2 field spells. This is the better one. Original 2, I think, pretty sure these came out in like 3 sets in a row, so... Anyway, what does it do? It increases the level of all FA monsters on the field by 2 during the battle phase only. Once per turn, when your FA monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw 1 card, and if it's destroyed, add 1 FA except Circuit Grand Prix, and each effect is hard ones. The draw 1 is already much better than the random discard, because the random discard, again, you're not going to get it off, but this is an effect you're going to get off every now and then, and the extra resources are nice, plus the fact that every time it's activated, you increase your levels again. Destruction effect remains handy. Oh, F-A-I. Okay. I don't know what the I stands for. Or is that an... No, wait, that's an exclamation mark, isn't it? Yeah, let me turn my screen a little better. Oh, F-A, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, I was about to move on to the 3rd field spell. FA City Grand Prix. Increase the levels of all FA monsters on the field by 2 during the main and battle phase. And your opponent cannot target FA monsters you control with card effects, and if this phase card is destroyed, you get the search, except for City Grand Prix. Each effect is hard ones, which is only the search. This one is the only FA field spell without a primary, with its only activated effect being the search. That's a bit of the downside, but the upside is that it is decent protection. It really helps. Not much to say about it, except it's just good. It does what it needs to do, and it does it well. Next up is FA Winners. If you control an FA monster, this card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. When your FA monster, whose level is at least 5 higher than its original, battles the opponent monster and inflicts battle damage to them, banish 1 card from your hand, field, or graveyard. You can only activate this effect of Winners once per turn. If 3 of your FA field spells with different names are currently banished, and were all banished by the effect of FA Winners, you win the duel. Sup Bandit, long time no see. Yeah, it's been a long time, Bronze Bro. I'm just reading the instant win card. So, about this instant win effect. The fact that it protects itself so easily is, nice. Even when you can't banish a field spell, you still can banish something just to get that activation going and get the extra levels. You're probably banishing a monster then, but... Yeah, and, well, But last bit of the effect that I feel is worth mentioning, it says by the effect of FA winners, not by this card, meaning that if you play FA winners, you banish 2 cards, and it gets destroyed, you can just activate a new one and pick up from where you left off. You don't have to get all 3 banished. So it's a fairly decent win condition card. So yeah, next up, the trap cards. We're starting with FA Overheat, a normal trap card that if only your opponent controls a monster, special summon 1 FA monster from your hand, and if you do, its level is increased by 3 until the end of this turn. If this card's in the graveyard and you control no cards in your field zone, you can banish this card, activate 1 FA field spell directly from your hand or graveyard. Now here's a clear dissonance between its field effect and graveyard effect, in the fact that its field effect is shit and its graveyard effect is great. Being able to special summon FA from your hand would be nice, but your opponent being the only one that controls a monster means that you just set this card, chose to not summon, and then ended your turn. The increase for 3 levels just till the end phase is not making up for this. Because you slowed down your own plays by quite a bit. Just to get 3 levels, and they're not even sticking. And it's only from the hand, so you're not even. It's not even like, oh shit, I really need Hang on Mech right now. Let's summon it from deck. No, you already need to have it. Why? I don't understand why they made this card like this. Well, meanwhile, it's graveyard effect. If your field spell is destroyed, and you have searched something else, you can immediately activate it again. Just, get back the level boosts or the targeting protection. So yeah, and next up is the last trap card, which is FA Dead Heat. When an opponent monster, it's a continuous trap, and when your opponent monster declares direct attack, special summon 1 FA monster from your deck. You can only use this effect of Dead Heat once per turn. Once per battle, if your FA monster battles an opponent's monster before damage calculation, you can have both players roll a 6-sided die. If your result is higher, increase the level of your battling monster by 4 until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. If your result is lower, destroy your battling monster. If it's a tie, both players roll again. Yeah. Okay, so its summoning effect really helps for when you're just out of monsters, which is going to happen more often than you think. And what about its gamble effect? I think it's acceptable. The odds are 50-50. Just about for you winning. And it is, well, a decent effect. You gain 4 levels instantly, plus another 1 because you activated an effect. So that's nice. Yeah, well, there's not much else to say about this. I think it's handy. It is a little risky with the destroying your own monster, but you can actually use this on the level 11 or higher motorhome, and then which can't be destroyed. If you use it on it, then you're just guaranteed 1 extra level. Yeah. And it only says once per battle, which means if you control 3 of these, you can use 3 of them on 1 battle, just for the lols. Don't do that on anything but the level 11 or higher motorhome, though. Just a little recommendation. Next up is UA cards. It's UA Hyper Stadium, which is always treated as an FA card. Well, when this card's activated, you can add 1 UA or FA monster from your deck to your hand, or add 1 UA Stadium from your graveyard to your hand. You can reveal 1 field from your hand and pay 1,000 life points. Normal summon 1 UA or FA monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only activate 1 UA Hyper Stadium per turn. That's just very nice. It's a quicker way to search, which the Archetype did really lack. The extra summon is really nice, because even if you don't have another monster to summon, you can just activate it just to get an extra level, which is just neat. Next up is UA Locker Room, a quick play spell card that's also always treated as an FA card. can target one UA or FA monster you control, or in your graveyard. Add it to your hand, and if you do, you gain 500 life points. Just recycle. Reveal any number of UA and or FA monster in your hand. Shuffle them in the deck. Then draw cards equal to the number of shuffled cards. So if you're breaking on, for instance, your turbocharger, you can shuffle it back and just draw a new one. It's decent. I wouldn't say this is like the big thing, but it's nice to have. And next up is the last of the UA cards to support it, which is UA, Man of the Match. This card is also always treated as an FA card. After damage calculation, if your UA or FA monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, or when your UA or FA monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, special summon any number of UA and or FA monsters with different names from your hand and or graveyard in defense position. This quickly allows you to fill up your field. It's nice, but it is a little slow as fuck. But it can come out handy. Anyway, that's all the cards. Now we're moving on to the tier list. Ignore the ads on the side. I'm too lazy to get an ad blocker. So we have tiers S through F. Let's see how every card would rank up. Auto Navigator being the only tuner in the archetype, but it does an amazing job at doing that. Even searching your field spells is definitely an S tier. Just as a frame of reference, this is only for within the archetype, not for within the meta. So like, don't be surprised I actually put cards in the S tier, because in the end, like, most of these cards are not meta at all. Next up is Circuit Grand Prix. I'd say it's a solid B tier. The draw effect is it's nice, but you're not always going to activate it. Sometimes your opponent is just going to get rid of it or of your monsters before you attack, and that's kind of where it ends. But then, at least if he destroys the field spell, you can make a combo on that. Then for City Grand Prix, I'd say A tier. The targeting protection really helps. Never underestimate it. Dark Dragster, I'm adopting between B and A here, but I'm gonna go for A. Due to its summoning effect, it's very easy to play. It destroys cards. The only downside is the fact that you have to pay 3 levels just to get one destruction off. Next up is Dawn Dragster, which is a definitive S tier. It is easy to negate, it's easy to summon, and it's powerful as well. Dead Heat, I'd say it's a B tier. It's good, but its gamble effect is a little too risky. Destroying your own monster if you don't win a dice battle is pretty severe, but being able to summon anything from your deck is counterbalancing that quite nice. Down for it, it's a B tier. Important combo card, but it's not gonna achieve too much in the end. Hang on, Mac. S tier. Banishing shit. Nice. Hyper Stadium? I think B tier. Why B tier? Even though it surges quickly and gets an extra normal summon, in the end it is not built for FAs very clearly, in the fact that it, well, doesn't affect the levels at all. And it doesn't search on destruction, which kinda makes the other field spells feel like a better option. Locker Room. C tier. Well, you know what, not D tier. It doesn't do enough. It recycles a few cards, it lets you redraw your hand, but yeah, it feels a little Like, yeah, okay, yeah, I got back 1 card and then I shuffle back 2 and draw 2 new ones, but at least in it shuffling back, it doesn't get you a minus, which is yeah, a thumbs up. You know what, I'm gonna bump it to C tier just because of that. I just convinced myself it's actually C tier. But this is going to D tier. The trap card. UA man of the match. It simply is too slow. You'd have to first set it, end your turn. Your opponent has to take their turn. If they don't attack into your monsters, you have to wait till it's your turn again. And then you need to attack just to activate it. And then it summons the monsters in defense mode as a little extra kick in the pants. Next up is Motorhome. I think Motorhome deserves a B tier. While it doesn't match up to Dondra Extra, it is still very much important for the archetype. It is indestructible, it's revival, it's easy enough to summon. So yeah. Then the first field spot to hit C tier is Off-Road Grand Prix. Except for its on-destruction search, which the other two FA field spots also do, it doesn't do enough. If it's destroyed, you get the... No, if your monster is destroyed by battle, which your opponent's probably doing themselves, then they have to discard one random card. They're gonna get rid of everything they don't want to discard or set it face down in the worst case scenario. You'd purely be running this for the destruction effect. Overheat. I'm gonna give it a D tier. Why D tier? Its on-field effect is just that bad. Making it hard to get it in the graveyard to use the effect that you want to use. Someone sat down and designed this card and did not realize the severe mistakes he made. Then is Pit Stop. It is C tier. Dropping the levels can be a bit situational if it's good or not. Though it says by 2, you instantly regain 1, which is nice, but that still leaves you with 1 less level than you had before, and considering effects are based on their levels, that's kinda And you usually don't need a draw if you control a monster that's such a high level that it doesn't matter anymore. Next up is Shining Star, which gets an F tier. A monster negate gets an F tier. Why? It forgets to be an FA card. Doesn't work with the back row. It doesn't stand on its own at all. It is, well, the entire archetype is reliant on the back row. It is reliant on literally on the monsters of the archetype, which the archetype doesn't have much swarming capability, which this card seems to require. Because it first requires you to make 2 monsters, link those 2 away, and then make 2 more, just to have attack points, which it is not putting to much use because it can't even deal damage. Monster Negate's nice, but it isn't worth all the crutches it needs. Sonic Meister, it's a solid C tier. It doesn't do much, but it does it well. You know what? C. It's definitely lower than the other cards. Test Run is a S tier. Yep. Yeah. It is let's see. FA Shining Star needs to be run because it's Monster Negate. Yeah, kinda. But I play FA for quite a while. I played Shining Star GT for a while, and I never got a chance to summon it properly. When I could summon it, I'd be stuck without any athlete counters, without any other monsters, meaning I had a zero attack monster in attack mode on my field. I wouldn't take battle damage, but I wouldn't be negating monster effects either. The amount of setup it requires, it's better to just try and force your way through the monster effects at that point. Next up is Turbocharger, D tier. It is a beat stick. It is a level 6 beat stick. You're summoning it with Dead Heat or Test Run. You're not getting it out any other ways. Tribute Summon, it is not worth it. Then we have Whip Crosser. I think that's a solid C tier. Having the access to the more level 4 lower monsters is good for the archetype. So yeah, why not? And then we have Winners, which I think scores a solid B tier. It is... you're gonna more or less make your build around it. But I think that's fine. Because it's still a very decent instant win card. So yeah, this is the final tier list. This is what I think of the different cards. A lot of B tiers, decent amount of these, one F tier, which is, that's not bad. Overall, I think the archetype is, it can be a little slow, which is very ironic for a race car archetype. But besides that, there isn't much to complain about. Anyway, yeah, next up I'm going to make a deck list. I'll be using EDO Pro for that. Anyone who wants to challenge me afterwards is free to do so. I'm just turning off the screen right now while I start it up. Where there it is. Sorry, my entire desktop got messed up. It should be showing. Yeah, there we go. I already have an FA deck. Called it Functioning Adult for memes, but we're gonna start from scratch just to get the full experience of me looking at FA cards. So let's start off with, I want access to low level monsters. With these being the only low level monsters, you're pretty much stuck playing all of them at 3. I think if they had one more level 4 or lower, it'd be just that much better in what you can do. Turbocharger, I like to run 1. It is nice to suddenly bring it out, but yeah, 2 Dark Dragsters because it's a little better. 3 of these 2 just because I can. And let's see for, yeah, I've done monsters. Let's do spells and traps. 3 test runs. I think 2 pit stops should be fine. 1 locker room. 2 down forces. I'm actually gonna play winners. I'm gonna run it at 3. 3 of these, 1 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. I don't want man of the match. I want dead heat though. Let's get some terraforming in here. Oh, ban list is off. Hold on, let me just... Where is it? 2020... Where's the TCG? I guess it's the top. There it is. Oh, alternate formats was still on? Sorry, I was just fucking around the other day with a friend. Anyway, yeah. This is a much more clear vision. And to end it off, always nice to have a hand trap. And then add in some synchros as you see fit. Crystal Wing. I forgot its name, but the Synchro Dragon is Clear Wing. I forgot the name, Clear Wing. Yeah, I like to add just good synchros in here. Scarlight Red Dragon. What else would be a good synchro? Well, I guess Trish. Command shops 3 cards your opponent controls, this synchronous card its owners. Also becomes halved, but also their effects are negated, okay. Boom, both of these. And let's see, what else would be... What else would be like a good synchro to play? Exploder Dragon Wing? No, the Mirage Dragons. Cataster, of course. It's a little old, but I think it still works. It's not gonna be the most consistent thing you're using, but it's going to work out sometimes. Yeah, I think the rest of it, just fill in the last 3 slots heist of it. You can also just reduce these two. Like, I think 2 of these, each of them is also fine. I need to undo that. I've been really out of playing this game in general for a while now, so I'm kind of out of touch with what the good synchros are right now. Oh right, Black Rose. Black Rose is always nice. Nuka Field. Moonlight and regular. If this card is special or level 5 or higher monster, special to your opponent's card field, yeah, that's good. What does Blood Rose even do? Destroy all other cards on the field. No, not too excited about that. FAA Revamp. So yeah, that's the deck. I am currently on EDO Pro. I'm quickly gonna play a match against someone random. After that, I'll take on anyone. I'm not paying attention. Wait, what was I? I don't think Trolls Mad even plays. He just wants to insult people. I'm still called I'm evil. Whoops. No, that's not very appropriate right now. No, my friends want to be there without ban lists, so I grabbed Exodia. Oh, that one has set so you can only use TCG cards. Back. So sometimes it's so annoying. You know what I'm gonna host? Anyone is free to drop in. It's usually easier to find an opponent like this than to join the room. You're always evil, though. Good point. Though this deck isn't pure evil like FTK Exodia is. I swear, he was like, yeah, let's play without ban lists, it's gonna be fun. And I showed him how much fun it is to play against a deck that has a 100% win rate. Well, 100% no. It can lose against a copy of against other FTK decks, but against who? It was Firespark. Weird. Did I put a lock on the room or something? I could swear I didn't. Great. Casual. That's fine. This deck isn't super competitive. Yeah. Yeah, he's like the only one that plays this with me. So sad. Anyway, I'm just gonna go. I like to go second with FA just because it is a bit more of a beatdown deck. I should stop fucking around with things while I'm streaming. Let's see. With this hand, I am gonna do not much. Well, okay, so let's start by normal summoning, terraforming. Damn. He is really on the ball with stopping that. Stop screwing around with things while you're streaming. Thanks, I needed to hear that. And activate this. Summon Auto Navigator for the synchro. Use its effect though. Oh, so bad you don't have Ash Blossom anymore. And then you synchro summon Dawn Dragster in the extra monster zone. Replace. Add a card to hand. I want FA Hang On Mac. And that increases my level. I can activate this again, show him a field spell. Improve its level again. And like you see, like even with a hand that was almost only field spell, I am actually making moves. Let's put Whip Crosser back into my hand. I'm gonna put Whip Crosser back into my deck though, because I want another card. I got Whip Crosser again. Activate both my monster effects. You see, this deck really can spin out of control quite quickly, because now I can replace the field spell again, increase both my levels. And then I can attack for quite a bit of damage already. That's Mother Grizzly. Ooh. Oh, you mean that level of casual. I expected a little higher level, I'm sorry. This deck is still considered somewhat competitive, somewhat casual in the fact that it's too fucking slow, but... Oh no, he's going to do that! But it needs to be sent to his graveyard. He's a dipstick. GG. I'm just gonna finish him off because I feel bad about beating him up now. No, I think he'll be fine without me. Without me beating him down again. This is worse than Fireworks beatings usually are. Anyway, unless someone in chat wants to challenge me, I am just gonna round off the stream here because I could play against randoms all day, but you know, let's be honest. I think everyone would much rather see me actually play. Oh man, this must be his first month of playing. Oh, that's very possible. That's the painful part. That's very possible that it is that's one of his first duels, his first month of playing, or he's one of those like people that eternally play very casual matches. And to be fair, when I was still in school, I played for years, and I played only that level of deck. Like Cradle Alligator, heck, that was my one of my power deck secret aces. It's fun to see it be used against me. Only, you know, it didn't really work out for him. Yeah, anyway, I don't see any challenges pop up. I think I'm just gonna round off the stream here. Because, you know, playing against randos, well, to be fair, in the chat people would also be randos, but there really is only one of two outcomes, and it's either what you just had, where I beat him down with ease, or you get the exact opposite end of the spectrum, where there are main meta player actually testing decks, and oh god, that's hard. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed. Follow me on Twitch if you did, join the community Discord to do suggestions, and of course subscribe on YouTube to watch this back. Anyway, hope everyone enjoyed, and see y'all next time. Bye bye.